I am so embarrassed. One thing that I tell people to do all the time, I forgot, I neglected, and it cost me thousands of dollars. Hey, I'm Jen. I'm a personal finance writer and creator of Modern Frugality, and I'm here to share that even as somebody who talks about personal finance every day and reads about it every day, can still make serious, stupid financial mistakes. And I'm not immune to them, and so I just needed to be real and share what I did, and then also share how you can check to see if you're doing it, because literally, when I say I tell people to do this all the time, I tell people to do this all the time because it is such a common mistake so many people make, and it costs them, oh my gosh, it can cost people tens of thousands of dollars. It's insane. So I'm going to share my story and then how I fixed it, and then how you can check to see if you're making the same mistake and how to fix it if you are. So this all started with last year. I was laid off in March, and I was laid off literally 2 months before I was supposed to give birth. And so this plays a lot into how I made this mistake. If I hadn't been like stupid pregnant, like pregnant stupid, I might have caught this. So I was laid off and I had a 401k and I needed to roll it over into a traditional IRA. I knew that's something I needed to do after I left my job. So I did that. I started the process and had my baby in May, and the process was all done in June. So we were good, I was in, and that was it. That was 3 weeks after I had my baby is when that was all solidified. So fast forward to literally last night, so that was June 2019 when it was finalized, and I had the email in my inbox still, so I know it was mid-June 2019. Fast forward to July 2020. I go in and I look at my rollover from last year, and I noticed that one looks different than my Roth IRA, because underneath my Roth IRA, I can see exactly what it's invested in, and under my rollover IRA, it's not invested in anything. For a year, my $23,000 that I had rolled over was sitting in a money market account at 1.5%. It made 1.5% over the last year. And that is, thankfully we were in a great market, so it's not like I missed out on a lot, but I still missed out on about 6%, and that's because I would have invested in it exactly what I invested my Roth, and over a year that has gained 4 to 6% depending on the fund. So I felt so stupid, because when you invest in your IRAs are self-directed. So it's much easier to do with your Roth IRA or traditional IRA than it is to do in your 401k, because that one kind of guides you into selecting funds. So it's much easier to do with your IRA. I just let it sit in that brokerage account. And it's so easy. So many people do it. They think they've set up an auto debit to go to their Roth IRA every month, and they don't realize they actually also have to select a fund to buy. You are purchasing an investment fund, so you're not just drafting, auto debiting money into your account. You also have to set up to buy that amount of fund every month. And so last night I fixed it, and I felt so stupid. So this is your reminder to go wherever your IRA is set up, whether that's Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, whatever. You need to go and you need to check and make sure that your money in there is invested in a fund. And the way you can tell that is you should be able to see a 5-letter kind of code, whatever the name of the fund is, condensed into a 5-letter name. So a lot of my Roth IRA is in the total stock market fund that Vanguard makes. And so that's VTSAX. So yours, if you're Fidelity, it probably starts with an F. If you're Vanguard, it probably starts with a V. So you need to make sure you have one of those, at least one, preferably more than one, underneath or somewhere on your account. Another way you can check is that you can go into the transaction history, and it will show you that it auto-debited from your bank account, so you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see it went into your brokerage account or your money market, and then you'll also see a transaction to where you bought a portion or a number of shares from the fund. So usually you'll see 3 different transactions per auto debit. Now, if you only see it took out, it put into the brokerage, and you don't see a purchase somewhere of some kind of fund, then that's a red flag. If you're not seeing any 5-letter code and you're just seeing a bunch of money sitting in an account and not funds purchased from that account, that is a red flag, and you need to go buy some funds so that you can actually be invested. Another way you can tell is look at your return on investment over the last year. Is it 1.5%? You're probably not invested in anything. So you are going to hopefully see 6% or more. I am going to kind of walk you through my Vanguard account and show you how I figured this out. And then I will show you how I fixed it, because it can be a little confusing. It was confusing for me, and I've done it several times. But I'll walk you through so you can see what you're looking for, and then you'll see how to know and then how to fix it if that's you. So I am showing you the home page that shows up when I log into Vanguard. So you will probably not see this unless it's close to tax time like it is for me, but you will most likely see the balances of your accounts. And so I don't normally share what we have in savings, so you are getting an intimate view of my retirement accounts right now. So this is the one that was not invested in anything. It will show me both of these, but I'll click on it and it'll take me right to this. But you'll be able to see my Roth IRA. Right now, I just have a little bit of money in the money market. And then I just had a debit come out. This is a great day to do this recording. I just had a debit come out of my account today that's still in there, and it hasn't been put into the money market fund. And then this is the place where I have my Roth IRA invested. So this is the 5-letter fund that I have it in. And then I have a transaction in progress. I can see that there. So, but that's not the one we are looking at. We're looking at the rollover IRA. And so because I just found this out last night, it's going to show you that I have all of the money in my Vanguard Federal Money Market Fund. So this is the place where it went when I rolled it over. And then from here, you have to invest it, and you have to purchase shares of funds, mutual funds, index funds. So I did that last night. I divvied up into here. So here's where I'm having some of my bonds, and then some other funds that are large cap index funds. And you can see there's nothing in here right now because it is still in progress. So if you have gone through there and you've seen there is no 5-letter code underneath your fund, nowhere in there, and you're seeing just money in a settlement fund or brokerage account, then you're going to want to invest that. And it can get a little confusing, but stay with me because it's actually pretty simple if you just know where to go. So you are going to go to buy. You're going to buy funds. So you are not exchanging funds because your money market is not a fund. That's an account. So you want to take the money that's in your brokerage account. These are all interchangeable terms. You want to take the money that's in there and you want to buy funds with it. So here, where is the money going? So intuitively, we would start with where is the money coming from, but that's not what's happening. We're starting with where the money is going. And so normally, when I looked at it last night, I did not have these 3 choices. I only had federal money market or settlement fund. That's another way you're going to be able to tell, because that's going to be the only thing that's available is a fund or is an account. I had to add funds. So just click there. So if you know the 5-letter symbol, you can enter it there. If you know the name, you can enter it there. Or you can select from a list. I actually recommend searching on the internet and finding the funds you want and finding the 5-digit code and just putting that in there. Because there are some funds I looked for that actually weren't on this list for some reason. But when I typed in the code, then it was there. So, otherwise, then I would start, and you have to make sure you have the minimum in that account, and I would click add, but I'm not going to do that. Don't use this list to do your research. Use the internet. That's a common one, and then I can just select that and go from there. So once they're on there, then you can divvy up this amount between as many as you want. I'm not a financial advisor, so that's not what I talk about. Do your own research on that. And I just divvied it up the way I wanted to. I'm not even going to tell you how I divvied it. So you would do that to buy in dollars. So I'm just going to do something like that. Oops, I don't have that much. Again. Okay. So if it goes over, then it's not going to let me add that number. So then I would continue. Let's see if it lets me do it. Right, okay. So it hasn't gone through yet, so it's still showing me that I can. And then you will only be able to, you can select the settlement fund, you can select your bank account, or exchange from another fund, but that'll take you away from the buy Vanguard funds page, and it will take you to the exchange funds page. So that is, and then I would hit continue. I'm not going to hit that though, and it would just confirm everything. It's a little counterintuitive by, first you have to say where the money's going, and then automatically it's going to pop up the settlement fund to be where it's coming from. And then you will do that, and you want this amount to be 0. Like, you don't want to have money in your settlement fund. So yeah, that is the only thing I have to say about that. Make sure you are keeping your money invested in actual funds
and not sitting around in the money market.